us. Hello to our participants joining us. If you are joining us, if you would like to use the chat feature to tell us where you're coming from, we appreciate hearing from you guys and seeing where everyone's coming from. We have about 94 as of today, actually, attendees for the Missouri Association of Museums and Archives conference. We're so excited to have every single one of you here. We're going to be starting our virtual tour with VRC Industries very shortly. Just as soon as we give everyone a chance to jump in. Welcome and thank you so much for joining us. My name is Sarah Wilson. I am the current president of the Missouri Association of Museums and Archives, as well as the executive director of the St. Joseph Museums. I'd like to welcome you to the start of day 3 of our virtual Missouri Association of Museums and Archives conference. This is our first time doing a virtual conference. We've been very pleased with the results. We've been able to attract people from not only across the state of Missouri, but also across the nation. So we're very excited to be able to have this opportunity. We're very grateful for the Missouri Humanities Council for helping sponsor this conference. Today I have with me Charity Cash, as well as Horst Kannenweischer from VRC, and they're going to give us a virtual tour. Before we move into their tour, I would just like to briefly introduce them. Horst is Vice President of Sales and Development, and Charity Cash has been in the document management industry since 2000. Charity's worked in all facets of the profession. She's currently in the Springfield area. She lives in Ozark, Missouri, and she joined Vital Records Control in 2016 as Director of Operation for the Springfield branch. She is now an Associate Vice President for Missouri, Arkansas, Oklahoma, and Kansas. I would like Charity and Horst to maybe give us a background and history of VRC, because I think you'll probably do a much better job than I do. So without further ado, let's turn it over to you guys and you can tell us all about the work you do and how you do it.
Awesome. Well, good morning, everybody. My name is Charity Cash, and like Sarah said, you know, I've worked in this industry for going on a little over 20 years now. It's definitely changed with the times. We went from microfilming images to now we're doing scanning and data storage. So it's been a very exciting portion, you know, to be a part of this industry. VRC was established in 1988. So we've got over 30 years in the business and we are growing with the times just like everybody else. We are in over 100 markets now. So we have got basically a VRC hub in pretty much every single one of these states. We are starting to more focus on the west side of the U.S., but we are also as far over as Alaska, which I had the pleasure of being the area vice president over for about 1.5 years. So it was very, very exciting. VRC is a great company. We are growing. Like I said, with the times, we are actually getting into more and more markets. We've got our facilities. We've got 2 that are underground. We've also got multiple facilities within each one of those markets. We do everything from start to finish with your records. We go from packing out, we go from storage to scanning to digital storage to providing the manpower to manage your records on site. If it can be done with a document, we are your people. We are the ones we want to help you make those solutions and get with the document management system. I invited Horst to be on this call as well, since he is what we call him the main man of our VRC. So he has a presentation that he would like to show you all. And Horst, are you able to share your computer?
I am, and good morning, everybody. I hope you can hear me. And I'm going to go ahead and share the screen. Please give me a thumbs up if you are able to see my screen. Hopefully everything is working properly. I see Charity shaking her head. Thank you. But yeah, so I'm Horst Cannonwisher. I am the Vice President of Sales and Development for Vital Records Control. I've been with the company going on 2 years in April, so a year and a half currently. I've been in the industry since 2008 and have worked with a couple of different companies prior to coming to Vital Records Control in my current capacity. A little bit more history of me. I like to joke with people I'm a German Canadian living in America, and I just recently became a U.S. citizen. So have had the opportunity to vote in my first general election for the presidency, and excited to be able to say that I have voted, and I don't have my sticker, but yes, thumbs up for everybody and voting. But anyways, on a more serious note, let's talk about Vital Records Control. Charity's stolen some of the thunder already, but that's okay. She's allowed to do that because she is, as she says, I'm the guy who's in charge. She is the one in Missouri who runs the show for Vital Records Control, and just happy to be able to talk about a few things. As Charity mentioned, we are a growing company. We, in the last 3 years, have grown both organically and through acquisition. We are currently probably number 2, if not number 3, or maybe reverse that, number 3, almost number 2 in North America in records information management. When you look at Iron Mountain, of course, our biggest competitor, and being the largest entity in North America servicing records information management. But in the last 3 years, we've probably acquired almost 70 different organizations across the country, all the way from, and I know Charity's mentioned Alaska. We are growing dramatically in the West right now. We've got 3+ locations in California. We've just added the Nevada area. We're in Wyoming, all the way up into Alaska. We just added a facility in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And we're continuing to grow where we need to create footprint. So over 100 facilities in over, probably up to 70+ cities in probably 40+ states now. So growing like crazy with the idea that we still focus on what has made VRC an organization for the last 32+ years, and that's customer support. We are probably one of the few, if not the only, customer facing company that does everything by phone with no voicemail. What does that mean to our customers? They always get a live voice. We do that in all markets. Basically, we believe that the customer is the most important aspect of our business, and we believe that voicemail is just a way to hide sometimes when the phone rings. So we try not to do that. We have live customer support in every one of our facilities. Where it's being billed out of, where it's being serviced out of, we have live people there from 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning till 5:30 at night, and then we have after-hours call service to give you a voice that you can speak to on the other end. We do that because we don't want to be like our competition. Our competition has call centers and different things, whether they're located here in Mexico and India, whatnot. We want to have somebody who can speak English with you and be able to support every one of your needs as they come up for your business. We're committed to compliance. Compliance is very important to us. I always tell my teams from the sales side that customers want to make sure that their documents, their holdings, are always safe and compliant, protected and compliant. These are just an example of some of the things that some of the groups that we're certified with or a part of, because we take compliance very seriously. We have a senior VP of compliance in the organization. Her name is Michelle Bird, and her role is not only to keep us in line with the different articles and aspects that we currently do, as you see on the screen, but it's all the way to continued training for the different certifications. It's background and drug screenings and everything that makes us more what we call safe and secure for our customers. Okay. I will mention that if any of you if you have a question while I'm going through this, you can save them till the end if you'd like, or you can raise your hand and hopefully I can figure out how to answer it on the screen. But by all means, feel free to ask a question if you want. So I mentioned earlier about facilities and footprint. This gives you an idea of our footprint in North America. Truly, we are a U.S. company. We have 48 contiguous states, of course. We have Alaska, and then we're not in Hawaii. I can't wait till we get to Hawaii because I'm going to go and help implement it and do the migration and then go lay on the beach for a little bit. But we're growing like crazy. One of the things I should share, though, is though we cover the entire contiguous 48 states, we're not in every one of those states. What we do for a lot of our customers who are larger enterprise customers is we provide them services remotely. We take their holdings, we put them in a location, and we store them away. Once they're stored away there, if they need anything, we can still provide services to them, whether it's the actual hard copy document, whether it is other things such as scan on demand, which has become very popular, especially through the COVID people working from home. We can provide digital documents to customers upon request. So it doesn't really matter where you're sitting and where your boxes are. What we can do is we can provide those to you at any time based off of the request of our customers. Okay? So we look at facilities. This is an example of a couple of our facilities. I believe one of these happens to be Jackson, Mississippi. The other looks like it's probably Orlando, Florida, or maybe Birmingham, Alabama. And then the picture with the racking actually shows part of a cave picture that we have added. And our facilities are second to none from the security, from compliance, from just the way they're laid out. You'll never have any questions in your mind as to our seriousness about compliance and security. So with that being said, what I want to do is I want to take you into a tour of our cave. So hopefully everybody can see this, and hopefully you'll be able to hear the audio. So give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, Miss Charity, seeing as I see you on the screen, of whether this is working properly. So let's give it a go. Very good. I hope everybody enjoyed the virtual tour of the Springfield storage facility where Charity is sitting currently. It's always neat to be able to experience a cave, especially from a storage perspective. You can think of a building, you can think of racking and boxes in a building, but once you actually see a cave and the limestone pillars and how everything is built out and developed, and then you see 18-wheelers driving underground, it's a cool experience. So I hope you were able to get a sense of what we get obviously the blessing of working in the cave scenarios, and see how cool it is for us. Now, all of that is very good in itself. One of the things that we as a company are able to tout is the fact that we do all of our process from creation to implementation to destruction using vital RF or vital radio frequency. We are the only company nationwide that engages with vital or with radio frequency identification in all aspects of our business. What you see in front of you here is what we call a portal, and basically with the technology that we have in place, we have a Six Sigma Lean 99.9997 accuracy rate of being able to find holdings, boxes within our facilities that have RFID technology on them. So we take this as a very important aspect to our customers, because we don't charge this to our customers. We provide this as a free service to our customers, whereas our competition feel the need to make it a dollar amount or a line item on an invoice. Part of that is because we feel it's important for our customers to understand that we take their holdings seriously, and we always want to know where they are, and we want you to feel comfortable that we know where they are, and RFID allows us to do that. We use a tool called Vital Web. Vital Web is our online tool that we empower our customers to use. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, our customers have access to reporting, to making requests for orders, to whether it's a destruction order, whether it's a permanent removal, whether you need flat boxes, whether you need barcodes. You can create specialty reportings. You can get destruction lists given to you. It empowers you as the end user to be able to control and manage your records and do it in a timely manner. So I figured, why not show you how it works? Charity mentioned earlier that we can do everything. We can come in, we can box up things, we can just give you full end-to-end support. And this is what we do for customers across the country. We help them, or they can box up all of their holdings. They put them in standard letter legal boxes, we call them. They're O2s, or 1.3 cubic foot size boxes. Look like office paper boxes, maybe just a little bit bigger. I'm sure you've all seen them. We put a barcode on them. With that barcode, what we do is we bring them over to our facility. We scan them into inventory using the portal. Once they're in the inventory, we put them on the shelf. And at that point in time, and even prior to that, say that you had an emergency need for something to come back to you, we're able to provide that to you by request. Customers would determine what item that they want, whether it's a box, whether it's a file, whether it needs to be scan on demand. It's provided to our end users in a timely manner, either by delivery or scan on demand. Eventually, what happens is items are expire based on the retention programs that you have in place, and then we work with you to have those things destroyed upon your request. Another service that we offer is offsite media vault services. Now, I wanted to make sure that we discuss this slide, not at great length, but just as an opportunity for you to understand that our facilities, in most cases, they have ambient warehouse surroundings, basically 74, 78 degrees, maybe a little bit hotter in the summertime, maybe a little bit cooler in the wintertime. Where we're in cold climates, we have heaters. Where we're in hot climates, we have air conditioners, because of course temperature, humidity, they can be degrading to paper. And as museum and archivists, you understand that really well. We, as an organization, and in different locations, and even in speaking with Charity about the facilities we have in Missouri, we can provide the different levels of storage controls for you when it comes to the need to have things that are either in a vault or just in climate controlled or just in ambient storage needs. For example, the caves, they stay about 65 degrees year-round, no heat, no cooling. They have about 50 to 60% humidity, which is about good for what we need for documents. It's a great environment to be able to put things in, store them away, and keep them safe and secure until they're required. We have the same services in the St. Louis market, and on the western side of the state, though it's not Missouri, we have in Bonner Springs, Kansas, on the west side of Kansas City. So we have the capabilities of covering pretty much the entire state of Missouri, and we have protected areas very similar to this media vault services. Give you an idea of some of the customers that we deal with. I'm not going to spend a lot of time here, but there are a few small companies on here, and there are a few big companies that you see on a regular basis. These companies are some of the ones that we take pride in servicing, but understand from a service perspective, our smallest companies that use us as a vendor get the same white glove treatment as our larger companies, because we have the same set of fire suppression, security, alarms, compliance, the whole 9 yards. So what the big guys get, the smaller customers get, and there's no difference. Our competitive advantage. People ask us what makes us different all the time to our competition. And this slide, without getting too deep into the weeds, basically, I'm going to sum it down to service. Service from a standpoint that we don't get into the weeds with billing. I would always joke with customers that our competition has sneeze and cough fees. And basically, every time they would cough on a box, they would sneeze on a box, they charge you for touching it. It's kind of a joke, but we don't do that. We keep things so simple to the point that we just charge you by the box, regardless of the size. We provide customer service at the facility where your holdings are being stored, where your shred might be completed, where your vaulted storage might be. We do everything with the customer in mind. We also don't have hidden fees. We don't have administrative fees. We keep it simple. You get charged for an access, which is what some of you might know as a refile or a retrieval, and you get charged for transportation. We don't have handling fees. We keep it simple because at the end of the day, box storage is compliant and it's secure. It's not rocket science. A lot of customers would always ask us why it's difficult to switch. Well, it really isn't difficult to switch vendors, and I say that because of the fact that I deal with customers on a regular basis that are looking to get away from their current status to come to VRC. And what we do as a company is we pay reasonable permanent removal costs. We pay for the transportation to come from that previous vendor and get them over to our facilities. And we don't charge any induction fees. We do that on our behalf because we want to keep it simple. And you know, which leads me to the next slide. You know, at the end of the day, when we start working with people that are using some of our competition, and based on the way their invoices are set up and some of the fees and charges that they have, we can in some cases save between 15 to 30%, sometimes higher, on the costs that you may be incurring with your current vendor. And it's all because of the way we manage and the way we bill and how our billing codes are laid out for each customer. Once again, I've mentioned that we do vital RF or radio frequency for free. That's our bloodline to chain of custody. We want to make sure that everything is captured, and the easiest way to do it is to eliminate human error and use RFID technology. We never charge for audit rooms. We're always wanting to make sure that your inventory is correct. We give you the opportunity to verify at any time. And for some of our customers, for example, medical customers, we'll even index at the file level in boxes. Some related services, and you know, of course, we're talking about box storage here a little bit. I've mentioned the media vaulting. We have 3 other services that we find that are very much needed in today's business settings. One is secure shredding. Depending on the markets, we have both mobile as well as off-site shredding. Mobile being we pull up in a truck to your facilities. We shred things on site at your location. Off-site or plant-based, we actually take it from your facilities, bring it over to our location, and destroy it. We do purge projects for customers, and we've been known to do one-off events such as projects. There's one blank. Sorry. There's that. It's just for sustainability. You know, sometimes it happens. I start thinking too fast. But basically, we'll work with companies very similar to yours, and we'll come and we'll bring a truck for a couple hours, and we'll do a one-time project that is for the community. And those are very much things that we can support even in the Missouri market. Electronic records destruction. We work with IT teams on a regular basis, destroying hard drives, tapes, whatever they have from a retention requirement that needs to have these items destroyed. Document scanning is a very important line of business for us. The ability to do backfile scanning, pulling boxes out of inventory, being able to destroy or to scan those day forward. I will tell you that from a sales perspective, we love scanning, but we are a company that will always ask you why you want to scan something, because if it doesn't make business sense, we'll talk that through. My sales team knows that they're unpaid consultants, and that's what we label ourselves as, unpaid consultants. We want you to understand what you're trying to do, where you're trying to go, how you're trying to get there, and we want to be able to assist you in that. And especially on scan services, we just don't want to scan for scanning's sake. We want to make sure you have an adequate business need from a consultative approach to make sure that it makes sense to do it. And then lastly, for some of you who might be tied to some medical, I know your museums and archivists, but if you have some medical tie because of legacy hospitals or groups that you're with, we also do release of information. However, there's nothing presented on this slide. So with that being said, I am at the end of my presentation. So I will stop sharing, and I will open up the floor for any questions that Charity will answer. Actually, I'm more than happy to answer also. So I just kind of click my camera on. Hopefully you can see me. And so are there any questions?
And I went through Horst as well. There was a couple of questions that were popping up as you were speaking. So I went ahead and answered those individually. A lot of the questions that I'm getting is how do we maintain the humidity level down here in the cave? And do we have challenges such as mold or pests and things like of that nature in the cave? We're fortunate enough to where we do have 6 to 7 big dehumidifiers that we can actually control the amount of moisture that is coming into our facility. So that is where we can maintain the most integrity for our documents and be able to have more of a say so as far as the temperature outside does not really reflect down here. And that's one of our biggest benefits that we have to the document storage industry with our particular cave environments. As far as pest control, we really do not have the same challenges that a lot of facilities do have. We maintain our monthly inspections. We are all about preventative maintenance. So we are having them come in, they're spraying every month, they're going through, they're setting traps, making sure that we don't have anything. If there is ever an issue that one were to come up, we immediately treat it. So those are the big questions that I'm seeing. And also of what else do we store? We will store DVDs, we will store microfilm. If it is paper, if it is a document, if it is special to our clients, we will store it, except for liquids or any hazardous material. Other than that, we will be more than happy to store any type of record that you have that you would like to be safe and secure and in one of our VRC facilities. Let's see, a couple other ones. Okay, would you scan artifact documents at the site or would they need to be sent to your facility? We would have to have them go to one of our scanning facilities. We've got multiple facilities set for throughout the US. We've got a huge scanning facility in Memphis. So most of the things that would be coming out of Missouri would be going to our Memphis, Tennessee office, which is our home office. That's where VRC got started, was in Memphis, Tennessee. What we would do is we would have a team members go to your facility, pack up any of the documents that you would like to have scanned, securely take them in our VRC trucks to our Memphis office where they would unload them and they would be scanned by a VRC professional. If you required that those documents be delivered back to you, it's going to be a VRC employees delivering that back to you. We do not use the third party for those type of situations. We would be having a VRC team member go pick those items up, take them to our secure facility, scan them, and then we would be providing that data back to you. And then we would also be taking those original records back to your facility. Okay. We do work with a lot of the museums and archives buildings. One of our facilities up in St. Louis has a very large facility up there that is a part of the museum. And we do climate control storage for them up there. They have not done any of the scanning or digitalizing of those records. We do deal with museum and archives in most of our facilities, our VRC facilities. So we're very, very aware of the guidelines and stipulations, especially the security and confidentiality of what is happening with those records. Okay, how do you diminish pollutants from the exhaust and carbon emissions from the gas powered? The Springfield Underground is a very unique, I don't know if you saw in the video the amount of air ducts that we actually have down here. We have got an entire system that all of the outside air is filtered out throughout our main area. So whenever you were seeing it drive down with all of the trucks and all of that, that's a very great question. We've got a ton of air purifiers that go throughout the cave that the Springfield Underground is monitoring on a daily basis. We've got air exchanges that are not only in each one of the individual buildings, but also in the common spaces. So that air is being recycled every single second. So they're going through and you can actually hear some of the dehumidifiers running and also the air purifiers throughout the entire cave. You couldn't hear it during there because of the lovely music that I had selected, but yes, we're continually monitoring that. Those are great questions.
Charity, I have a
So
question.
are there,
Since I'm on the
Go ahead.
panel, I'll ask it and then I'll jump back off. How do you buy a cave?
How do you buy a cave? Well, what this actually, the Springfield Underground, what it started out as is they were using the rock and the limestone, they were mining the limestone. So the Greasers are actually a part of the Springfield Underground. And whenever they very first started, they started it out as, we're going to mine the rock and then we're going to see what we're left over with. When they got started with that, they realized that there was a need, especially in Missouri, with being in Tornado Alley, where we kind of have a lot of that to deal with. So what they decided to do is they were going to create these secure locations down here in the Springfield Underground, lease them out to particular groups that were needing that extra security and that extra just the comfort of being underground, especially where we're located at. So that is how it got started. Is it actually started as mining for the limestone, the desirable rocks. That's why no pillar will ever be the same in the Springfield Underground or in any of the cave environments. They mine out the rock that they want to utilize, and then once that has happened, they put up the concrete walls and they create a warehouse space out of it. That's a very good question, Sarah.
Any other questions for Charity? She's good at answering questions.
It's my forte. I'm not seeing any pop up. We've answered the oh, there we go. Hey, what is the process for pulling requested records? I did not see any answers. Okay, so what it is as far as the process for pulling records. So once you become a VRC client, we set you up on our Vital web portal. That gives you access not only, and this is for an administrative level, we have to have our administrator who gives the rights out to anybody in their facility that they want access to. What they're going to see is they're going to be able to look at their inventory. So they'll be able to see whatever is on the front of a box, or if we're storing books, if we're storing CDs, we're going to be indexing that into our system, and it's going to be visible for our clients. You'll be able to log in, see exactly what is on the front of those boxes, be able to make a request from there. It's going to send an immediate response. So you'll go through VitalWeb. It's going to send an immediate response to my team where that box is located at. They're going to get a request, and then they're going to be processing their request depending on how the client has requested. So as Horst had talked about, the scan on demand. So if you want just a few pages, especially let's just say you're wanting to know what happened to a building in 1943. If we have those records, we can actually send you the construction piece to it. Or if you're a medical facility and you say, hey, I need to know what the history and physical is on this, what do you got? We'll send those to you. We can also do the physical delivery back to your facility. So if you want a box returned back to you, a VRC employee is going to pull that box, take it back to you, and we'll pick it up the same. We drop off empty boxes. Anything that you need, we're able to find. I hope that answered the question.
Okay, very good. Well, thank you, Charity and Horst, for giving us the virtual tour of the underground document storage in Springfield. It's such a unique aspect of our state to have this wonderful storage facility that is so controlled in its environment with the temperature and humidity control. Kind of ideal for for archives and for museum professionals. We're all probably a little bit jealous because it looks quite state of the art. So I've enjoyed our virtual tours for this conference. The theme of our conference is navigating past, present, and future. And I think this is a great example of a business that is doing that very well. So thank you guys for joining us. Yeah, and thank you to our attendees. And then we'll have sessions this afternoon starting at 2 o'clock. So hopefully everybody will jump on. Any last words, Charity or Horst, before we take off?
One thing I want to say is if anybody is interested in learning more about VRC, please feel free to reach out to Horst or myself. If you have questions that you want to ask as far as from an individual level, reach out to us and we'll do whatever we can to help.
Maybe could you put your email in the chat over there for everyone?
Yeah.
Then they can have that contact information if they have a project that might be a great fit for your company.
Perfect.
So there's
So it just
Charity.
takes me a little bit longer. Yeah, it takes me a little bit longer because of my long German last name, but Make sure I spelled it right for you. There you go.
There you go. So go ahead and drop that down if you need it. You can reach these wonderful contacts with VRC companies. And then if you guys have any further questions for them, you can send those questions to their email directly. But thank you guys. That was really interesting. And thank you to our attendees. And we will see everyone this afternoon.
Thank you
all.
Bye.